down the side. The so-called golden boy of boxing. He is a charming individual, it has to be said. It's not just a media hype. He's not a media creation. He's a good bloke. Good right hand, Carr, seeming to get through with that as well. Has been said that De La Hoya, if you look through his record, he hasn't fought many what you'd call fully fledged welterweights, and Carr is certainly that.
Yes, he is. He's strong. He's starting to let big punches go, Carr, trying to load up and hurt De La Hoya.
Flurry of body shots from De La Hoya. Into the rib and then a left hook to the head. These are bad moments again for Carr. But he soaks all that up too.
A terrific combination to the body. Reminded you of when Sugar Ray Robinson used to let those terrific combinations go.
Well, we were wondering in the first round whether Carr was just going to get blown away. He didn't seem to be able to handle De La Hoya's power, but he's worked his way into this fight, and how? Hit the gloves, the right hand that time.
We're getting more confident, Carr starting to come forward.
Just fighting in bursts, De La Hoya. Catching a lot on the gloves from Carr.
Nice jabs from De La Hoya. It's a stiff, hurtful punch.
You never see De La Hoya looking too marked up after his fights, which is a sign, really, of how good his defense usually is. Although, of course, Quarty did have him on the floor in that eventful sixth round of their fight.
Again, having success with a choppy little right hand over Carr.
The left hand, this time from De La Hoya, and immediately Carr wanted to grab hold for a second. Can he keep this up, though, Carr? Can he sustain this effort? Very religious man, born-again Christian, says the result has been written in heaven, he just has to do it on earth.
Size. It's not everything. 16 valves, increased torque, stiffer suspension, firmer dampers, extra va-va-voom. That's all very impressive. But really, you ought to be seeing it in the hands of a master.
The new Renault Clio 16 valve. Size matters.
You're looking at that flurry of body shots from Oscar De La Hoya as you rejoin us here at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas.
Ensuring De La Hoya demonstrate a terrific left jab.
De La Hoya, who has a team which includes a main advisor, promoter, lawyers, publicists, TV people, endorsement people, a track coach, nutritionist, exercise physiologist, masseur, and so on. Plus 75-year-old Gil Clancy, a strategic advisor.
He's going to need to earn 18 million a year to pay that lot.
And you just had the one trainer, didn't you, Glenn? De La Hoya in the blue trunks. He also takes 60 different types of nutrient pills every day as part of his high-tech training regime. No doubt at all that De La Hoya is the heavier hitter. His punches seem to be having the more effect of the two. Carr having plenty of success, though, landing often and making a pretty good argument of it so far.
Yes, he's definitely warming to the task, Carr, because in the first round, it looked as if every time De La Hoya hit him, he was going to go down, and now he's warming to it. You know, the punches aren't having as great an effect.
Carr's third and probably last chance to become a world champion in this welterweight division. After the first two, he became so desperate and depressed that he said he became suicidal. Says he didn't deserve to win at that time. Now he's got his act together and he expects to. De La Hoya once again opening up.
The Carr's pouring these punches off, but a lot of them aren't getting through, or De La Hoya is catching them on the gloves and arms.
It's worth remembering that Carr went 12 hard rounds with the big puncher Quarty. He's usually pretty durable. Trinidad did stop him in 8, and one of the subplots here is that De La Hoya might want to do the job quicker than Felix Trinidad ahead of their big showdown, if it is to happen. Out of reach with the right hand, Carr.
There's a call with a decent little counter. Short left hook from De La Hoya.
Oh, that's a big right from De La Hoya. And he holds on again, uses his experience, Carr. Felt the weight of it, though.
Whenever Carr gets through with a decent punch, De La Hoya comes firing straight back. Excellent, excellent fight.
There's a difference between the effect of the punches, isn't there? I think it's important to stress that here, Glenn. Carr is landing plenty, but it seems to me that De La Hoya is having the punches that have the most effect.
Yes, whenever somebody seems to be rocked or be hurt, it's Carr. De La Hoya is a much stronger puncher. But I think also De La Hoya is catching a lot of the punches. They're not getting through some of the jabs of Carr. But when De La Hoya lands with a jab, it's a very good shot. Carr just throwing that jab. De La Hoya just falling a little short himself there as he tried to charge forward.
Just riding the punch quite well. There's your scorecard, Glenn.
Yes, that's how I've got it. De La Hoya just pulling away in a decent lead. 4-point margin there for De La Hoya.
So up they come for the 7th round. Fight moves into its second half here at the sellout Mandalay Bay, with tickets costing between $50 and $600. Carr, remember, in the black trunks, the blue with the white stripe down the side of the champion. Oscar De La Hoya, a champion at 4 different weights already, and he dreams of being a champion at 7 weights eventually. Talk of a move up to light middleweight after that Trinidad fight, if it happens. And good fights would be waiting for him there too, with the likes of David Reed and Fernando Vargas. But first things first.
And the great thing about De La Hoya is he's never scared to fight the best out there. You know, there's some great names on his record, and he continues to fight those names. You know, never looking to duck anybody.
De La Hoya just picking the shot nicely with the right hand. And there might have been a little clash there. There's a cut underneath the eye on the cheekbone of De La Hoya. And Carr here, I think he's going to get a point deducted. That's obviously been construed as a butt by Carr. He's got a nasty gash on the left cheekbone of De La Hoya. Well, Carr perhaps wouldn't expect too many favours. And oh, he's got him with a left hook. Looked a bit wobbly there with the old legs, Carr. Looked like De La Hoya was angered by what happened with the cut.
Yes, he comes across as the real medium boy, the golden boy. But you know, there's a tough man in there as well. He was complaining about that, the head earlier in the fight, and then finally it's happened. He's been cut, and he'll not like that.
This is a real inner steel about De La Hoya. Just blinked a little bit as he felt that one as well, Carr. Oh, again, the left hook made him take a step and a half backwards. But he's sticking with it. But De La Hoya's shots definitely having more effect, doubling up on the jab, rocking the head back of Carr. Is De La Hoya on the verge of a breakthrough?
Well, he's looking strong, and he's really going to try and land heavily with these punches, De La Hoya. The left hook is a good punch again.
Body shot looked a bit on the lowish side to me from De La Hoya. Again, he touches away at the cut on his cheekbone. And now, a low blow deduction for Carr. He's not getting too many favours in there from Richard Steele. I thought I saw a lowish one from De La Hoya just before that. There wasn't a word.
Right, they've both been guilty of that.
Crowd don't like that from Richard Steele. He's been involved in one or two controversies in the past. The Tyson Ruddock fight, the Chavez-Taylor one. And I think they interpreted that as a bit of bias towards De La Hoya. 2 points deducted.
Yes, I think the head clash was probably the right thing to do. He did duck his head down, but I thought maybe a little unfair. Just seeing it there, it was just on the waistband. It wasn't particularly a bad shot, and I think maybe Richard Steele was a bit hard on Carr for that.
Well, I don't think it was a low blow at all.
No, it really just looked as if it caught him on the waistband.
Crikey. If you're going to get points deducted for that, you're going to throw him out after about 2.5 rounds.
Well, they booed Richard Steele before the fight. I'm sure he's going to get some boos before the next one as well.
Well, if that was what the deduction was for, that particular piece of action, it's a nonsense. Round 8. Now, this is the round in which Felix Trinidad finished off Omar Carr. That's a great-looking left uppercut, mind you, from Carr. Still some fire about him and still some ambition. De La Hoya hasn't broken his spirit yet.
Well, he's done really well, Omar Carr, to come back from that first round. He's landed with good punches himself. Give De La Hoya some trouble.
Those low blow deductions, and the one for the what we presume to be a butt must have been ruled accidental because it was only a 1-point deduction for that. Must mean that De La Hoya has a big lead on the scorecard. You'd think so anyway.
But both of these fighters have got to be starting to tire now. They fought at a frantic pace.
Carr trying to pull out everything. He knows that it's probably his final opportunity. You were saying beforehand, I know I can cause a shock. I get goosebumps just thinking about it, but he's under fire again here. Can't keep on taking those left hooks from De La Hoya. Just that one knockdown, though, and that was way back in the first round. De La Hoya, remember, came in tonight saying he was definitely looking for a power punch type performance of raw aggression, less caution, less of the old boxing skills, and more all-out raw fighting. Bet on me winning by knockout, he said.
Well, I think he's done that. He's really tried to stand in close and be aggressive and look for the knockout, but that hasn't come. And really, it's been down to Carr, who's put up a very good fight. He's been tenacious and come back every time De La Hoya's landed. He's come back with something as well.
De De La Hoya with that cut on the left cheekbone, remember, but not too much of a problem really, that for him. Blood not running into the eye or anything like that. Well, he's on his bike a bit here, De La Hoya. So 8 rounds gone, 2/3 of the way through. What do you think, Glenn?
Well, I think he's certainly in a big commanding lead, but he hasn't took over. He hasn't forced the stoppage. He's had, you know, his own problems to work out. Carr's come back with some good shots. He's a very lively opponent. He promised he was going to give his best, and he really has tried to. De La Hoya, for me, still just a little bit busier. Still getting the more attractive, better punches going in. Just seeing a lovely left hook in that combination. Really doubling it up and trebling it up there, trying to get everything into it. Carr just hasn't landed with the accurate punches like that.
But De La Hoya finding it hard to take people out quite as often now that he's moved up to welterweight, and it's going to be a problem for him again, you'd think, if he makes the move to light middle.
Well, that's when it gets really much harder, because De La Hoya is starting to look a much squarer figure now. Isn't as cut as much as he was in his younger days, and obviously moving up through the divisions gets harder and harder.
And does he retain the ambition and desire with his ring earnings up over $100 million? Come a long way from the days when he used to sell ice lollies on the streets of East Los Angeles and be an architecture student. Won't find too much architecture to delay him long in Las Vegas, I have to tell you. A long way in front, though, De La Hoya, I think, wouldn't you?
Well, I've got him in a very, very big lead. You know, the first round, 10-8 round, a 10-7 round when the 2 points were deducted, so that's really pulled him ahead.
Not too many weaknesses when you think about it with De La Hoya. He can box, he's good defensively, he can blast a bit as well. Appears to be able to just switch strategy to meet the challenge in front of him. Keep your punches up, says Richard Steele to De La Hoya. First time he's spoken to him, isn't it?
Well, that's made a little reaction from the crowd. Obviously looking at the irony of the decision there. De La Hoya, sorry, and continuing with his boxing, just very much a change strategy from him.
I think he's just trying to sucker Carr in.
I think he is also taking a breather. He's a very smart fighter. You know, he'll not be doing it unless it's for a reason. Give himself a little rest, and then I'm sure he'll unload with punches.
He does fight in bursts, De La Hoya, but when he opens up, it's a sight to behold.
Really committing himself with that left hook, Carr, but just falling short.
Last couple of rounds have been quieter, the pace has dropped. And De La Hoya giving every impression he's just taking a little break, and then he comes back on strong like that, knowing that the bell to end the round is near. You gave Carr that one, yeah?
I did. I just think De La Hoya went too much into the moving and the boxing. He was looking for a respite there. And Carr was just trying to force forward, just pushing him on the back foot, looking for his jabs. It was a quiet round all over, but I just thought Carr did that a little bit more.
Sometimes they talk in Spanish in the corner to De La Hoya, and the American TV people tell me they have their own interpreter in there to make sure they know what's going on. Can't imagine the British Boxing Board of Control allowing that, could you?
Somehow not. De La Hoya just a little more wary in that round. How do you have it, Ian?
I've got De La Hoya in a big lead. Haven't totted it up, but with all the point deductions.
Well, there's mine. That's a 7-point lead. Just Carr coming back with the last one.
Round 10. Is De La Hoya going to pick it up again, or will he be taking the distance for the second time running? Carr may already be in the position, well, he probably already is, where he would need a knockout or stoppage to become a world champion, so he might have to gamble a bit.
Well, he's still there at this stage in the fight, and that's obviously about to lift him somewhat.
Now, can De La Hoya sustain some pressure?
He's had a couple of quiet rounds, if he's been feeling the pace to get a little bit wind back. So I think we've got to expect him. He'll want to finish this fight well, even if it's to go to the points. So I think he's going to step up the pace.
Maybe De La Hoya is gathering himself for a big finish. Maybe he is genuinely tiring. He was boxing with his hands dangling down by his waist. Carr with a bit of a problem with some blood by the mouth, we noticed towards the end of the last round. Good straight right through the middle in that exchange by De La Hoya. But he's never really been able to entirely subdue the spirit of Carr, far from it.
Yes, he's shown really good spirit and character in there. And this is a tough fight for De La Hoya. And at this stage of his career, De La Hoya does all seem to be getting a little more difficult.
Is the golden boy beginning to just lose a bit of his luster? Desperately, you felt, wanted to go in there this time and do something spectacular. He's thrown a lot of hurtful punches, but Carr has shown good durability to stay with it. And that's a great right uppercut from De La Hoya. Then a left hook. Carr had to eat that one up and did it well. Stays on his feet.
Again, unloads with a good combination. De La Hoya planting his feet here.
Trying to pick these shots. The uppercut is a bit of a honey punch of his. But Carr weathers the latest storm.
Breathe up deep.
Gutsy effort from Carr. As you can see, he's got plenty of stamina and proven. Right eye's a problem. Closing up a bit.
Yes, a little bit working on that with the ice. That was a good round for De La Hoya. He just planted his feet, looked for the heavy punches. Carr did very well to get through that. He really is. From the first round, it looked like every punch was going to hurt Carr. And since then, he's really, starting to absorb them so much better. That just happened when a fighter warms up in the first round. You can often be hurt by little shots. But once you get the feel of them and you start to absorb them and take them, it's much easier as the fight goes on.
He's kind of got used to the power of De La Hoya's punches. De La Hoya with the white stripe down the trunks. Remember, the defending champion, his 7th defense up at welterweight. And this is round 11, under 6 minutes remaining. Carr actually fought at the Royal Albert Hall when he was just 18 years of age. Getting on for a decade ago now. I think it was on a Dennis Andrews world title bill, as I remember it. Oh, he's got him this time! And sure Carr's going to make that terrific shot. Oh, he's all over the place here. Very dodgy legs, and quite early in the round.
Come to me, come to me.
Look at me, says Richard Steele. Is he going to come to me, says Richard Steele. Go back to a neutral corner. And he's waving it off. It stopped. It stopped in the 11th round. He could not answer the questions from Richard Steele in the affirmative. And the fight is over, and Oscar De La Hoya has the stoppage win that he wants. The smile is back on his face. The end came suddenly in the 11th round. De La Hoya produced the explosive, devastating punch he was looking for in the end to settle the argument. Not that there would have been too much doubt about it on the scorecards anyway. Brave effort from Carr, but De La Hoya reigns on. Left hand. Whew.
Yes, you know a fighter's hurt when they fall on their face like that. It was a terrific punch. Always got the reflexes and the speed. And right at this late stage, when they're obviously very tired, can find the punch and has the power to do that. That's why he really is such a great fighter.
And Carr pitching face forward into the canvas. And then when he got up, he was all over the place, really. Richard Steele was trying to give him every opportunity, but it was no use in the end. He wasn't happy that Carr was fit to continue.
I think he was right as well, Ian. He did ask him often enough to come forward. He walked away from him at first, and then when he stopped him, he said, come to me, and he didn't move. And I think he looked away from him at first, and then when he stopped him, he said, come to me, and he didn't move. And I think, you know, he knew, he obviously looked in the eyes, and he wasn't there. He then had to help him walk back to the corner, so I think it was the right decision.
Good performance by De La Hoya.
Yes, again, it's getting tough for him. He's in welterweights, you know, full-blown strong men, and you've got to remember the class of these fighters. These are good fighters he's in with. And to knock a guy out like Carr in the 11th round is still good. The same as it was last time, beating a fighter as good and as accomplished as Ike Quarty. I think we've got to give him credit and realize the type of fighter he's in with.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the Mandalay Bay Resort Casino of Las Vegas, referee Richard Steele, following the knockdown, calls a halt to the bout at 55 seconds of round number 11. The winner, and still the undefeated WBC Welterweight Champion of the World from East LA, the Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya.
A whoop of delight from De La Hoya. I think he might have heard a hand in there. He seemed to be able to lift one of the hands up. Was it the left hand, Glenn?
Yes, the left hand. Richard Steele went to pick that hand up to lift it, and he shook his head. That was obviously hurting.
Big hand for Carr too. So Oscar De La Hoya now will presumably move on to fight Felix Trinidad. We'll hear from De La Hoya in just a moment. That fight with Trinidad has not been announced as yet. There's $10 million plus on the table for Trinidad. Haven't quite got him to fight yet. So Larry Merchant's in there somewhere amid that scrum, and we'll be able to hear from him, I hope, in just a moment with the thoughts of Senor De La Hoya. He's still the champion. Robert Alcazar there beside him. He did a good job with the cut as well underneath the eye. That'll soon be stitched up. Must have thought he was never going to be able to get rid of Carr, who just kept on taking those punches.
Congratulations on another victory. A little tougher than you thought it would be.
You know what, this guy, no, he can take a punch. He was ready. Like I said, every opponent I have, they lift themselves to the moon, to the sky. So he was ready. But well, that was a good fight.
In a number of rounds, he was simply beating you to the punch, and you seemed a little bit off-put until you established yourself. What was going on?
I was ready. I was I didn't feel tired. I didn't get tired. I felt very strong. But
do you feel you made the transition to being the kind of aggressive fighter that you said you wanted to be in this